Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we are excited to be bringing you some more games from the Ultra Invitational tournament. And just a quick introduction for our players in the bottom left hand corner. As our red Protoss player, it's MC. In the bottom right hand corner, as his opponent, also a Protoss player, it is Hasuobs. So it is going to be a PvP here on Ultra Stronghold, one of the largest maps in the map pool for this tournament, and always exciting to see a PvP on a large map. PvP, of course, tend towards a very aggressive play. If you decide to play greedy and your opponent chrono boost warp gate out, you do die instantly. So always interesting to see what these players go for, particularly on a larger map. Do you risk getting greedy? Or if your opponent scouts you, it makes life very difficult. And of course, at this level of play, you can expect your opponent to be scouting. So both these players very well known for their Protoss play. MC, of course, one of the most successful Protoss players of all time. Hasuobs, an excellent Protoss player in his own right. This has the potential to be either a very aggressive and quick game, or it has the potential to wind out into a very long macro game, particularly here on Ultra Stronghold. So while this game's getting underway, just want to chat about some housekeeping, things that we're going to be popping on the channel. I just wanted to start out with a big thank you to everyone that's been sharing and subscribing to the videos. We've had a lot of love lately with people sharing videos on Facebook, Twitter, and other places. So really appreciate those guys. That means a lot to casters and people that spend time producing content. When you're able to share it and share it with your friends, help spread the StarCraft love. We really appreciate that, so just want to give you guys a big thank you for that. Make sure we thank you with a lot more awesome StarCraft 2 content. On top of the obvious StarCraft that you'll be seeing here on the channel over the weekend, we'll be doing some other series as well. I've got a few games that I've been dying to do a Let's Play series of for a while. Also got invited to the Heroes of the Storm Alpha finally, so excited to give that a shot. I have been a big MOBA fan over the years. Played a little bit of just about everything, Dota, Hon, LOL, and looking forward to trying Heroes of the Storm. So we'll be playing a little bit of that for you and casting a few games. So hope you guys enjoy and look forward to that. Also have another game that I'll keep a bit of a surprise. Been waiting to do a Let's Play on it for a long time now, but just been super busy, not wanting to miss regular StarCraft content to do those. So this weekend, hopefully I'll have the time to get through all of that. So plenty of action coming up here on the channel, so hope you guys have some time to set aside to watch some sweet StarCraft action, kick back and have some fun. If there is any games that you would like to see, as usual, please send them to aussiestarcraftreplays at gmail.com. I know the email's long, it is in the description in the video below, so check it out guys. Always happy to cast games, whether they're your games, pro games, any games. If you're willing to send it in, we'll have a look at it and cast it. So yeah, that's about all from me. Let's check out what our players are up to. Looks like Hasuobs actually going for a Stargate opener. I do love Stargate on this map, Ultra Stronghold. It is massively large. Things like Phoenix in PvP, very popular on Ultra Stronghold. MC, of course, actually hasn't thrown down his tech choice yet, which is a little bit rare. It looks like he has a probe down ready to potentially expand here in just a minute. Indeed, it does look like he will be throwing down his expansion quite quickly. Have a scout from MC there dying quite quickly. You may not actually see this Stargate. Is actually going to be an Oracle out first, so there's a little bit of a sneaky option. A Stalker here trying to move up the ramp. Mothership Core taking a little bit of shield damage, but a Stalker here from Hasuobs now going to force that Stalker right back. So nice play there from Hasuobs, didn't take any damage on the Mothership Core and able to force that Stalker right out of play. So MC fighting a little bit in the dark here as he throws down his expansion. That can be quite a scary thing. If we look at MC's vision, we can see all he's seen is a single gateway and a cyber core. Hasn't managed to get a worker scout down to the expansion. Hasn't scouted behind the mineral line. There is a heck of a lot that MC doesn't know about as this Oracle wings its way across the map towards his natural expansion. So MC going to be aware of that as it makes its way into the base. Unfortunately for MC, the only things here to defend is a Mothership Core, enough energy for a Photon Overshot, and sentries which die so quickly to an Oracle. It is just a little bit silly. So Hasuobs potential to focus down these sentries if he really wanted to, but instead it looks like this Oracle just going to have a bit of a squiz, see what's going on. Going to see that this expansion is in fact in play. We do have Phoenix coming out behind this, and MC going to be throwing down a Stargate of his own. Unfortunately for MC, Hasuobs already going to have several Phoenix out now in order to be able to harass the worker line. Oracle managing to get in here, do a little bit of damage, and managing to escape with the skin of his teeth. 3 workers killed, I do believe, or 4 workers killed by the Oracle, so managing to focus fire those quite well. In fact, in spite of the overcharge and all the sentries and the Stalker. So nice little focus fire from Hasuobs there. Though MC getting a bit better of a scout off with that hallucinated Phoenix, seeing these top gateways. But Phoenix count for Hasuobs starting to fly up there. We've got 4 Phoenix now. Twilight going down for MC. Wants that blink tech to try and deal with the Stalkers, as he knows that he is well and truly behind in the Phoenix count. He could start producing Phoenix, but when you are this far behind, probably a better idea to go for some sort of alternative tank. Blink certainly a good option there. Has a few Stalkers out already, but just this singular Phoenix, and the singular Phoenix will die quite quickly, and whoever loses the Phoenix battle in a PvP loses all their Phoenixes. The Phoenix is able to chase them all the way home. These Stalkers got a little bit of damage, managing to force the Phoenix away for now, but that Phoenix from MC going to get picked off, and Mothership Core here in just a little bit of trouble, needing to be a bit careful there. Phoenix managing to pick up and kill a few of these workers quite quickly. Oracle here doing some more harass at the natural expansion. Poor MC caught between his bases here as loses a few harvesters. We see 11 workers now killed by Hasuobs, and this is a beautiful execution of the Stargate opener. 4 Phoenix, or 5 Phoenix now, and this Oracle doing so much damage. We see the Oracle still in play, drop down to 2 health, but managing to stay in it and keeping that Oracle alive is all important. The threat of the Oracle just as dangerous as the Oracle itself, and you can see that he has been forced to pull all his units at that natural. Few units in the main base, but the Phoenix still able to do some damage. Second photon overcharge forced out. That Mothership Core could potentially be sniped if Hasuobs was of the mindset. Mothership Core is stuck here while the units generally hovering on the left hand side of the Nexus. Quick tip for players: if you are in this harassing position as Hasuobs, a great move once that photon overcharge wears off, nick down in here in the gap between the bases, snipe the Mothership Core, prevents your opponent from throwing down a photon overcharge later on. As the units tend to be in the mineral line, gives you a brief opportunity. With 5 or 6 Phoenix like Hasuobs have, he could easily sneak in there and kill the Mothership Core if he was of the mindset. Though Hasuobs is focusing on killing those units. Blink now finishing up means that MC could catch these Phoenix, so the opening for Hasuobs is starting to close here. Needs to be very careful though. MC seems to have abandoned this mineral line. If his Stalkers don't get back here quickly, these Phoenix could have their way with a few probes. Sentries could well get it picked off here as well, and we see that both sentries will get picked off, and all the Phoenix managed to make it out alive. So nice execution from Hasuobs here. Unfortunately, MC decided to stroll across the map with his Stalkers. No high ground vision means he won't be able to blink up that ramp. We have a probe establishing a proxy pylon here. Force fields need to go down. Hasuobs needs to be on top of this. All blinking forward into the base. Hasuobs though with an Immortal here. Immortal's going to do a lot of damage to these units. We see 1 Stalker getting picked off, the remainder deciding better idea to blink out of here. Potential for a few more to be warped in. MC is bringing the remainder of his forces though. Stalkers are actually outnumbered by the Phoenix. Probably a better idea to pull back MC. Indeed, he will go with that. MC's probe still hovering at third base, knows that Hasuobs hasn't expanded just yet, but we have a Mortal Phoenix Zealot, so a little bit of an interesting composition here, but a massive amount of damage output, particularly when your opponent's forced to build this many Stalkers. Stalkers get hard countered by the Immortals, and of course the Phoenix able to pick up a few in the fight too. So this is quite a difficult and irritating composition to deal with, as Hasuobs easily able to contain his opponent and make life very difficult for MC. Does need to watch out for the fact MC could well just throw down a bunch of gateways and go very aggressive and push across the map. Phoenix obviously not as useful in a direct engagement, but the straight gateway units of MC are going to start struggling against things like this Immortal Void Ray composition. Pretty much everything Hasuobs is building is excellent against the Stalkers, so baiting out the Stalkers with his Phoenix and then countering them with things like the Immortals and even to extent the Zealots. If you get charge on those Zealots, indeed charge is well, actually that's MC that's grabbing at. Twilight just finishing up for Hasuobs now. Be surprised if we don't see charge out of Hasuobs. I think indeed in due course we will see charge. Charge lot Immortal going to be very good against the Stalkers. Stalkers can blink, but the charge lots can just tank a massive amount of damage. We check out the upgrades. not a lot in the way of upgrades for either of our players. For some reason my hotkey wasn't working there. Not a lot in the upgrades department for either player. Hasuobs has got that +1 advantage. This is going to even this fight up. Blink, of course, very useful, so MC should get great cost efficiency on these engagements. But Hasuobs Immortal's going to be able to pack a lot of punch. One thing Hasuobs seems to be missing, proxy pylon here to reinforce. MC's pylon on the low ground is going to die so quickly. It is just a little bit silly. MC, of course, has gone for the route, throwing down all those gateways here. Is going to produce an insane amount of units. Unfortunately for Hasuobs, proxy pylon a very long way away. These zealots forced to walk heck of a long way to join this battle. There is a supply lead for Hasuobs. Even got a Colossi now out on the field. A second one not yet joined, though the thermal lance is almost finished up. So we actually have a few high Templars and zealots warping on the right hand side. This is a little interesting for MC. Going to want to pull those back if those got picked off. That's a lot of gas actually to lose in those high Templar. Of course, wanting to morph those into an Archon, indeed he will. But third base for Hasuobs going to be established well and truly ahead of the third base for MC. I find the Bostos on the back foot in this game as his economy starting to falter just a little bit. His main base almost mined out here. Going to need to take this third and get it up and running. However, Hasuobs' army just starting to be a little bit terrifying. The Void Rays combined with the Immortals and the Colossi. Just a heck of a lot of punch to deal with. 2 Colossi, 3 Immortals, compared to the almost straight gateway army of MC, and MC moving out across the map. But to be honest, I don't know that MC can afford to engage here. The Void Ray is going to peel open those stalkers like a can of baked beans. Yep, MC indeed gonna have to pull back here, try and get this third base up and play the defender's game. But I gotta say, I love how Hasuobs has played this out. Went the air route early on, but didn't overcommit to it. Just a few Phoenix and an Oracle, managing to do the damage to his opponent's economy, managing to kill 22 workers over the course of this game. And following up with a very clever composition, this Immortal Zealot, hugely dangerous against this pure gateway army. Oracle going to throw down that revelation on these units. So MC not planning to move out, I would not think, particularly while he's under the influence of the hallucination. Sounds a bit odd. Under the influence of. We have a few Archons here in this composition. I'm going to say there's a lot of Zealots, and Zealots very good at tanking, but they have almost no tanking capacity, no armor upgrades, all damage on MC's army. Whereas Hasuobs, he's got the same attacking upgrade, but these Colossi and Immortal and Archon actually managing to round out the tech tree with a few Archons as well is going to give him a massive edge in this engagement. Actually managing to feed back the mothership core, so not something we see at all. These Archons for Hasuobs, a little bit out of position right there at the front of the battle. Nice force field's going to isolate these Zealots, stop them from getting into the meat of Hasuobs' army. Hasuobs' supply is continuing to rise while MC's is continuing to fall. MC losing these Archons at the front, reinforcing Zealots streaking into the fight. These Stalkers and Immortals now being cleaned up by the Charge Lots. They force their way through. There's Void Ray doing a lot of damage, not actually getting any kills though. The Immortals and the Colossi being the main meat of this army, 10 kills between them. And the capacity for Hasuobs to reinforce quite quickly now. You saw that influx of gateways, these gateways actually being chrono boosted out. That supply just rising as another group of Zealots joins this force as it moves out across the map. We have lots of Blink Stalkers, but Blink Stalkers on their own going to get forced back by the Charge Lot. Charge Lots from MC going to clean up this Zealot run by Immortal on the ramp to help do a little bit of damage, but Hasuobs just continuing to produce units left, right and centre. We're up to 3 Colossi, and it's still almost pure gateway units for MC. MC's managing to hold on thus far, but Hasuobs just going to be playing it nice and safe, building up this force. He knows he's well and truly ahead in this game. All he needs to do is not overcommit and lose this force. These 3 Colossi are going to do so much damage, trying to blink back, but the Zealots just getting great engagements on these Stalker. Phoenix to help pick up the Stalkers and pick those off. The supply just continuing to move steadily in Hasuobs' favour. He's just played this out in beautiful style. Protoss players out there, if you're watching, need to take a leaf out of Hasuobs' book, able to treat MC, just trap him in a corner and rail on him. It's not often we see MC subjected to this sort of treatment, particularly in PvP games. MC's PvP very cheeky usually. Hasuobs here able to do a lot of damage, but MC going for the flank here. Can he pull it off the massive group of charge lots? But there is just so much DPS for Hasuobs as these Colossi just continue to rake in the damage. Even the Oracle, that Oracle from the start of the game, finally going down. But I've got to say, I'm curious, how many kills did that Oracle have? We're going to skip back to the start of that engagement, just because I am super curious as to just how many kills that this Oracle has. This same Oracle all game, he's been roaming around, casting revelations, injuring the mineral line. We saw he had 7 kills at the start of this engagement. MC doing the very best he could to try and set this up for a nice engagement, but these Phoenix know what's going on. They've scouted MC's army, and Hasuobs is very confident that with a 50 supply lead he can in fact move in and muscle, and these Phoenix just continuing to harass the mineral line, though 2 Phoenix can't kill anything if they're both picking things up, and Hasuobs deciding he's going to just muscle in here. MC going for the kill. There's Oracle pulling back behind the line. You see the control on Hasuobs, not engaging over the top of those Archons, pulling back, managing now to add a bit more DPS to the fight, finally going down to those Archons. But Hasuobs just playing that game out impeccably, start to finish. Beautiful PvP from Hasuobs. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. I love a good PvP, very dynamic, always cutthroat and brutal, but that's been the theme of the games today, both this game and the game with Daishi and Hero Marine. Very aggressive from start to finish. Hope you guys are enjoying them as much as I am. We've got plenty more StarCraft coming up just after this, guys, so don't go anywhere. This is Aussie StarCraft. I'll catch you in the next cast.